Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys today? I am so excited to be with you. Once again, we are on a new week and new stamp sets, plural. It's kind of exciting. I chose to make this really fun card. I'm going to show you how to make it in a minute. Let's just really quickly talk about what we're going to be using today. So we're going to be using On the Horizon bundle. It comes with this stamp set and this set of dies. When you purchase the bundle, you'll save 10%. So definitely check this out. And I decided to pair it with this stamp set called Wildlife Wonder. I just felt like it went really, really well with the scenery. And we are going to be using some designer series paper called New Horizon. And this is just some of them, but they have beautiful watercolor backgrounds and they help us to form scenes. So it's super beautiful paper. So you're going to get to see some of that paper today. And I've paired it with an extra set of dies called Stitched Rectangles. They're amazing. Check them out. And I have used those for this sentiment. I really like that stitching around there. So let's go ahead and get started and I will show you how to make this really fun card. Let me pull everything off of my work area. Make sure that everything is set up for you. So you can see the background of this card is Blackberry Bliss. It's a very, very deep, dark wine purple color. Really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish with my bone folder. This is an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock. I think it's gorgeous. And so that is going to be our main focal for our card. And then we have a piece of 3.25 by 5.5 Old Olive, and that is what is going to get layered right here on my card in the center, kind of leaving the same amount on either side right here. But before we attach it to the card, we're going to build everything on here and then we're going to move it on to the card. So I'm just going to move the Blackberry Bliss for right now to the side. It'll come back in a minute. I'm going to move our little bear card off to the corner here, so I have some room. And we're going to build on this 3.25 by 5.5 inch piece of Old Olive cardstock. So we're going to start with one of the designer series papers, and this is a piece of 3 by 5.5 inch, and I have cut that. This is what the back side looks like. It's all watercolored paper. It's really beautiful, and I thought that it would make a really nice scene. So this is going to get attached onto our Old Olive piece. And then once we've attached it onto there, we are going to use some dies. We're going to use the Horizon dies, which is from the On the Horizon bundle. These are the dies that go with it. We're going to be using this one right here, which was cut out of this little wavy piece. We're going to use that across our piece here. And we're also going to use this one here with the trees. So here is that one, and this is cut out of Evening Evergreen, and this is Old Olive. And then we're also going to use this grass die right here, also out of Old Olive. And that is going to be down here by the bear. Now you can see they're much darker in the card, and I'm going to show you why. We're going to actually use a blending brush to kind of give a little bit of two-tone to it. And so let's go ahead and start with that process. So I'm going to grab a scrap paper here. You can see it has been loved. That's what scrap paper is for. And we are going to start with these die cut pieces. So we're just going to lay them down. And this is my blending brush I'm going to use today. And I'm using Evening Evergreen. And so I'm just going to ink it up. I'm going to take the initial dark. See how dark that is when you first put it down? And see how now it's nice and soft? I want that soft green, because I'm gonna just kind of rub it around the edges here and just help my little grass here, grassy piece, just to have a little bit of two-tone color. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to blot off that dark, and I'm going to run it along my edge, and it's going to help my grass get a couple different colors on it, which is nice shading. And I'm actually going to do it same tone on tone. This is the Evening Evergreen paper. I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen ink. Again, I'm going to blot off the dark, and then I'm just going to run it over the top to give it a little bit of shadow and a little bit of dimension. So those three are getting done first. And see how it gives you that cool outline on your scrap paper? Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and build our little scene here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to use just my seal adhesive. It's my tape runner. I'm going to put some at the bottom and some at the top, and then I'm going to do a little bit on the sides here, not too much. Super sticky. I love the seal because it is so sticky. I used to use a different runner and my stuff would come apart. So my stuff definitely does not come apart with this. So we're going to go ahead and attach that on there. It looks like I'm just a shy amount short. And so I'm just going to use my little guillotine cutter. This is not available for purchase. It was a promotion that Stampin' Up had for if you signed up. So I don't have these for sale, but you can find a little guillotine cutter anywhere. You can check Amazon if you'd like. So we're going to go ahead and also we're going to stamp some birds up here, as you can see on my card. But we're going to first start building our little scene. And I'm going to start where this green is. I'm going to kind of lay where I want my little kind of rolling hills to be. And I'm going to grab my silicone mat and bring that out because we're going to use some wet adhesive. If you hear any snoring, guys, it's my Yorkie because she's older and she sleeps a lot in here while I'm working, and she is snoring away, so don't mind her. I'm gonna add a little bit of wet adhesive if I can get it going. There we go. To my die cut piece. And I'm just gonna hold on to it. I don't need that much, but I'm gonna bring it over here, and I'm gonna kind of put it, like I said, right about where my green is there. And I'm not going to let it grab too quick because I need to put my trees behind it. So those I have to put some adhesive on. Hopefully you guys can see and I'm not out of the camera. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to tuck that underneath right there. And I want to make sure that I get the hill showing. So that's why I didn't want to push it all the way down yet, because I wanted to make sure that I got some of that hill there. I want to get all the trees on, maybe move it down a little bit more. I like that. That looks pretty good. All right, so now once that's in place, then I can press this one down for it to grab. And then we're going to trim off the excess with our paper snips. So we're going to flip to the back and just snip those pieces right off. So that's what we have so far. We're starting to build our little scene here. Now that we have our little hills in place, let's go ahead and stamp our birds. So I'm using crumb cake. And this is from the Horizon, On the Horizon stamp set. And they're so cute, these birds. I love them. So I'm just gonna have them in the sky here. Just flying off. And they'll fade as the ink dries, but that is my birds in crumb cake. I've already stamped the To a Great Guy because I wanted it to be straight. So I stamped it first, And then I used my die and I put it around it. I'm going to show you which one of the dies I used. It's this one right here, the smallest one by itself. It doesn't nest in any of them. And this is the one I used. So I stamped it onto a piece of crumb cake, and then I put my little die over the top, and then I ran it through my die cut machine because I wanted it to be the right, you know, I didn't want this to be like crooked. So now we're going to do our bear. When I was making my first card, I stamped the second one, and then I thought, oh, I really wanted to stamp that on camera, but since I already stamped it, we're just going to go ahead and fussy cut it out. You guys saw me stamp the bird, so if you've never stamped before, that's how we stamp. We just put the ink in onto our stamp set, and then just press it down onto our paper. And so this is called fussy cutting. You just basically work your way around your image, and this image is fairly simple to cut out because he's nice and big. He doesn't have too many intricate ins and outs about him. He's just kind of a big brown bear. And that's what I actually call this card, my big brown bear guy card. I think it's so cute. So I'm working my way around. Almost done. One more foot. You can see it's fairly easy to fussy cut this little guy out. All right, so there he is, and he is going to be my focal piece down here. So he's kind of plodding along. So I'm going to use some dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those out. And we're going to stick some of these down on him here. I definitely want him to have some support down at the leg area, so I'm going to use my minis. They come in mini and regular sized, and I really love that we have two sizes of dimensionals. So I'll put those there. I'm going to put one more for support right there, and then I think we're good. I want him to have lots of stability. Now the grass is going to go also, he's going to be here, and then the grass is going to be also lifted up, and it's going to kind of be around him. So I'm going to put mini dimensionals on our grass. So I'm going to just fill into these little spots here. We'll see if we can sneak this one in there. Hopefully I can. And then I definitely need to put some dimensionals here. Now what I do is when these are finished, all these little ones, I cut around these outer edges, and I'm going to show you. Here's one. So I'm going to cut some little strips here. You can see I've started using the outer edges and making good progress on this. I'm going to use two. I'm going to pull those off, and I'm going to put one here. And there's one more. They like to, the adhesive likes to, I mean, the lid tops of them like to come off when I cut them. So it's okay. I just let them come off, but you definitely need some stability down at this end. So like I said, I have the two dimensionals here. I think this one's going to show a little bit. I'm going to trim it because there's an open hole there. I don't want it to show white. So I'm just going to bring my scissor in here and just trim a hair off of there. There we go. All right, so now let's go ahead and attach our bear, and then we're going to put the grass in front of him. So, you know, I use my Take Your Pick tool when it comes to removing dimensional backings. I love to remove them with my Take Your Pick tool because they don't go all over my craft room. I never have little stray dimensionals riding around my craft room because I do use the Take Your Pick tool, and they all stay stuck on here, and then I can just sling them into the trash right off of here. I just push them with my finger out into the trash like that. But if you pull them off, they tend to get staticky, and then they stick to other things. So I definitely like to use my Take Your Pick tool. So let me go ahead and put my bear down. I want him to be about there, nice and grounded. And then we're going to put our grass down here. That looks awesome. Perfect. What do you guys think so far? Looking good, right? Now we can go ahead and attach this onto our main card. We're going to use, again, our tape runner. We're going to kind of line that up and make sure that it is about the same on both sides. We just eyeball as best we can, right? That's all we can do. We can only live in a world where we can do our best. All right, and so I definitely want to look. There's a hair of green sticking out, so I'm just going to trim that back following along my card. Just a little bit more. I think I got it. No, I think I got it all. All right, so there is our card so far. We're going to add our To a Great Guy. That's going to go right here. We're also going to use the dimensionals for that. I'm just going to use 2 of them, 1 on each end. And let me grab my Take Your Pick tool. Perfect. All right, and then we're going to use this and we're going to attach it here. A little bit of it is going to be onto our Blackberry Bliss. It's kind of living on the side here of our card. That looks pretty good so far, don't you think? So now we got to make the inside just as pretty as the outside. It can't just be plain because we got to wow people. We made this really awesome card. We don't want the inside to be boring. So I've cut a piece of old olive, and this piece of old olive, I believe, is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I'm going to go ahead. Actually, I'm not going to glue it down yet because in case I make a mistake when I'm stamping, which is very easy to do, right? We all make mistakes. So I just want to make sure that I don't make a mistake and then I can't flip the card over, because you know that's what we do, right? When we make a mistake, we flip the card over. I'm looking for my stamp. I don't know what I've done with it. Well, this is this one. I'm looking for my one with that for the inside. I'll show you the inside of, oh, there it is. I just couldn't see it. There it is. Okay. So for the inside, I'm going to show you how I did this one. We're going to stamp For All the Great Things You Do, and that's going to go in Evening Evergreen. And then here we're going to do this little flower. Here's the stamp. And I've colored it in 2 colors. I'm going to show you how I did that. So this we're going to glue inside in a minute. Just set it off to the side. Let's go ahead and grab our Evening Evergreen. And we're going to ink up. Oh, wrong stamp. I'm batting 1,000, aren't I? I can't find my stamp. I grabbed the wrong stamp. For All the Great Things You Do. Here it is. Found it. This is the one I want. For All the Great Things You Do. So I'm going to ink that up first. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm going to stamp that in the center. Perfect. Let's go ahead and close the Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to clean my stamp, and I'm going to clean the one that I put in by accident. I just thought I had grabbed the right stamp, but I haven't. This one says You Mean So Much to Me. But it's also part of the really awesome stamp set, that Wildlife Wonder. So we're now going to do our flower. So to get a 2-tone flower, I'm going to use my Stampin' Up markers. And this color is Rich Raspberry, and this color is Old Olive. And so I've used the brush tip. I'm going to turn my stamp over, and I'm actually going to color on the stamp for the grass and the stems. And I'm just using the side of my marker. And then when I get closer here, I have to just be a little bit more careful because this flower is real close to the stem. So I just want to make sure that I mark the right parts. and that they're all nice and inked up because I'm going to stamp that on the inside. All right, so there's my stem, and now let's do the 3 flower pieces. Again, I'm going to use the brush tip, and I'm going to run that along there, and then let's do this one. That looks awesome. Now, because I went ahead and used the markers, I'm going to huff. And huffing is just blowing air out, kind of like when you're out in the cold weather and you blow out and you can see your breath. So it's the same thing. I'm just going to go, and it moistens the stamp again. And I'm going to just stamp that right about there. That looks pretty awesome. What do you guys think? See how cool it is to do those 2 colors by using the markers? So the Old Olive and the Rich Razzleberry, both of those are in the Regals. So when you purchase the Stampin' Write markers, they come as a set. You get them by the color family. And so you would get 10 colors. Both of these are in the Regals. And then we're going to use a small little piece of Designer Series paper. It's 1/2 inch by 1.5 inches. And I'm going to run my tape runner along there. And I'm going to glue this on the end. I'm going to put it upside down because for me, it's easier to see. So I'm going to kind of moving this up along this edge here and right along the bottom of my flower. And that's where that piece is going to go. And now we're going to go ahead and put more of the tape runner on the back. And then this is going to go inside the card. So let me grab my Blackberry Bliss card. And we're going to center this on this panel right here. Just try and leave a little border all the way around, about 1/4 inch on all 4 sides. And there is our card. I think it turned out super cool. What do you guys think? The only thing I have left to do is the pebbles, and I'm going to use my pointy end of my Take Your Pick tool. And so these are called pebble enamel shapes, and they're really, really cool. There's gray and brown, and I chose to use gray. But on this card, I'm going to go ahead and use the brown. So I'm just going to grab, one at a time, and I'm just going to lift them up off of my card here, and I'm going to stick them down. So we'll put this one right here near the edge. And rocks or pebbles are just wherever, so we're just going to, one at a time, lift them up. I get them stuck to the point here, and then I'm going to place this one down here, and we'll put one more right here. So there's the gray, there's the brown. What color do you guys like better? Let me know in the comments. Do you like the brown pebbles or do you like the gray pebbles? Let me bring them up to the camera so that you can see them a little better. There's the 2 colors of pebbles. Gray or brown? I don't know which one I like. They're both so cool. All right, so that is my big brown bear guy card. I hope that you enjoyed watching me. Definitely check out my other videos. Subscribe if you're not subscribed so that you can get notifications of when I post new videos. If you don't mind helping me out, hit that like button, give me a comment below, and share my video. Please share it with other people. I would be so grateful. If you would like to purchase any of the products to make this card, you can get them at my online store. The links are in the description below. And go to inkyhandswarmhearts.com. When you get there, you're going to click on Shop With Me. It'll take you to my online store. If you do click on the Shop With Me, before you click on it, on the sidebar, or if you're mobile, if you scroll to the bottom of my blog on the homepage, there's something called a host code. If you don't mind entering that host code, if your order is less than $150, and applying that, that really helps me to be able to bring the content to you. I would greatly appreciate that if you wouldn't mind using the host code. My current host code, if you order in April of 2022, is S like Sam, G, X, V like Victor, E, 3WQ. And it's, like I said, it's also located on the sidebar of my blog, so definitely check it out. I do post 7 days a week on my blog, so there's always inspiration to keep you going, and I do like to use the same stamp set for a while so that if you do purchase it, you have lots of content and ideas for that stamp set. Check out my other videos and my playlists. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. If you do not have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Let me know in either a comment or in a message. You can contact me. Also, that is located in the description below. And I really appreciate you guys being here. If you have made it to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so, so grateful. And thanks again for watching. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!